Okay, so Stella's outside, so 100% I'm gonna get interrupted at some point. But she just went out, so I was like, "Oh, well, hurry up! Maybe I can get through this beforehand." Because sometimes I'll sit here and I'll wait, 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 and think, "Oh, surely she's gonna come in any minute. Surely she's gonna come in any minute." But I don't know. Since it's getting like a little warmer outside, it's like she just keeps staying out. It's still not warm. Like she may think it's warm, but it's like 45 to 55 kind of temperatures, which to me, like, especially because I'm in the shade, I'm cold all the fucking time. I'm sure, like yesterday, this was hilarious. Yesterday, because we've gone on quite a few walks. Like today, we've already been on 3 walks, and it's not even 1 o'clock. And yesterday, we went on 2, and I was out walking. This was kind of ridiculous, really. Um, so I put on my whole little suit, like a whole snowsuit. I found these pants like at a thrift store, and I had even tried to give them away because I thought, oh, my daughter goes out and does sporty stuff. Like these pants would be handy, and she was like, oh no, you should keep them. And I'm so glad that she didn't take them because I'm always doing stuff like that. And I love these pants. It's like you put on these warm pants over your clothes. And then I have, a shirt that's kind of like the same kind of fabric, and I put that over, so it's like a little snowsuit. And then I put my coat on, and then I put my hat on and my gloves. I'll go out to walk her, and I'll stick all my hair up in my hat too, because I don't want it to get poison on it. I don't go out all the time with my hair down, and so I'm out there walking her yesterday, and a guy goes by as I'm starting to go, and he's got shorts on. He's kind of jogging though. I was like, okay, well, he's kind of jogging. He's got a shirt and shorts on, and I was like, maybe he can handle like. I mean, he's a bigger guy. Maybe he can handle colder temperatures. And then, so Stella always wants to go to the neighbors, so she goes see her boyfriend. So she goes zippity doo all over there. And so I'm standing out on the other side of their gate, and Stella was losing her mind because she wasn't on the same side as me. So she couldn't protect me from who was going by. So she was going crazy. She was barking and barking and barking. And she'll bark when she's on this side at the dogs that go by. But it's like she's barking like saying hi. Her tail's wagging, their tail's wagging, and they're hi, hi, hi. And the people are dragging them like nobody pays any attention to what the dogs are doing. And so, anyways, she's barking, and this guy is coming with his dog. And he's going so freaking slow. And his dog isn't bothered by a thing. His dog's just like going along. And, but you don't even know, anyways. I mean, his dog, that's just his personality. But I don't know. But people like that get really pissed if your dog is like not well behaved. Like their dog is perfect. What's wrong with yours? And so I'm standing there evaluating, like, oh, another guy with shorts on. Like, maybe I'm overdressed for the day. I don't know. And so I'm sitting there thinking about that. Stella's barking, and I know she's barking her head off because, there's a dog and a man on the same side of the fence as me. And the guy gets up close enough that he can speak to me, and he goes, oh, are you just there trying to make this dog really mad? I was like, it's my dog. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, well, yeah, I just walk around the neighborhood and I just go up and try and make dogs mad. That's what I do. It's like, what the hell? But I swear to God, that has been like my interactions lately, like on fucking TikTok. Like, oh my God. I swear to God, all I gotta do is I can say just a little something something, and I have triggered so many people because all these people, like, they'll think that because they agree with me on one thing, that I must be exactly like them or something. And as soon as I say something that's off of what they believe, they don't go, I should reevaluate, maybe I could look at that. Maybe there's something I'm missing or anything. No, immediately goes, shut it down, close her up, like, and like start freaking out. Like, as one person today was, I don't know how I got on the wrong side of TikTok. At one moment you're talking about copper, and now you're talking about, I don't even know what the hell they were saying I was talking about. Because I said, I've said a lot. I've said a lot over the past few days. Like, I don't know. I'm on a rant just like everybody else, I guess. But, you know, said some stuff about religion. Because these people, they just come in and say stuff that is like, as soon as you say something that they don't agree with, then, you know, you're going to hell. You know, you need to get right with Jesus. Well, I'm gonna make sure Jesus is praying. I'm gonna pray to Jesus for you. You know, I'm gonna get you in the good graces of Jesus. I got this for you. I know you are a hopeless case, but I got you. It's like, God, it's mental. And so, anyways, I was told that, you know, they somehow, you know, I'd gone off script. I was talking about copper, and now all of a sudden, you know, I'm talking about all sorts of stuff. I'm sitting there saying, like, because I am seeing a lot of videos, a lot of people who went out to see the eclipse who are sick, and saying that if something happened, they start feeling really weird. And, you know, there's several things. Like, I for sure think, I mean, I just saw something where there's a weird 3333 thing of these dates between, it seems like that they've got a plan with this sickness. Like, they're gonna have this sickness. I don't know what will go down, but I think it's what they want to try and do is more quarantine us or contain us. So I don't know what's gonna go down, but I definitely think that they poisoned some people. And but there was some weird things where I was like, people could feel weird and dizzy and stuff from some of the footage I've seen. Like, one of the things I saw, it didn't just look like there was like several suns or moons or dragons or ships or all the stuff. Like, I've seen all that stuff, but this one, it looked like the same thing as like Portal. It looked like what I see in my head all the time, how it like goes out, like this thing about how everything is like going out. And it's like the Fibonacci thing or something. It's like this repeating pattern or something. And this going out, everything is like this thing. I don't know how to explain it, but but I can see it. And then so in one of the videos, I saw in the sky like something that I see in my head. And so it was more like a sun with the reflection of a sun with the reflection of a sun like it just was going up, like, and that's what we are, is like this reflection coming down. Okay, hold on. Oh my gosh, so much drama. Okay. Okay, so anyways, it is like this, I don't know how to explain it, but that's what it looked like. It looked like something more solid, then something less solid, less solid, less solid, less solid, less solid, like a dimensional, like the vibration that pulls it into solidness. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how else to explain, but it's like, you know, I don't know. I see stuff like that all the time. And, okay, because now let me think what I was talking about, because I went off on that, and I think I was still talking about something else. Oh yeah, because the people who were, saying stuff to me today, like that I've gone off topic or something. And like, to me, it's like, you know, I existed before you found me. Like, I was already doing my own thing. Just because you found me and then all of a sudden you thought like I was the same as you doesn't mean that I'm the same as you. It's like, I'm doing this, okay? Sorry. I know, it's a big problem. I'm taking time away from you. Like, my whole day is just like, and it starts in the middle of the night. I got really irritated earlier. Just says, I'm a fucking doorman. And then she gets pissed if I'm not like, snap to it. It took me 2 seconds. Ooh, see, it's very intense. Like, she's being intense. I'm being intense. It's like, oh, everything is super intense. Like, I feel like everything is like, ooh, like the energy. It's like, it's got to be the energy that's like, surely it's the energy before it twists and turns the other way. Come on. Oh, God, I'm burnt out. I'm so fucking burnt out. Oh, God, I'm burnt out. And then it's draining. I swear to God. It's like so draining with these people who are just go at me. And to me also is, it was another thing. I had a bunch of things that were coming into my mind when people say things. I'll just delete things. I'll go in and look and stuff, and there's a lot of people that seem like, okay, these aren't even real people. And I'll just delete them. Please let me finish doing what I'm doing, okay? Stella? And I've run out of her medicine. It's not gonna be here till Friday. Oh, God, I swear, I'm just having like, oh, I just want to fucking scream my head off. That's what I want to fucking do. I just want this fucking shit. Like, I want things to fucking stop with the shit. Yeah, today even, I had a fucking ordeal with, goddamn Comcast. Now I think I'm going to change to Ziply or something. All this stuff, the insurance, the cable, all the stuff. And there was a big thing. I remember that Donald kept talking about something with cable. And I don't remember what he said because, like, he was doing all this stuff back in 2020. So I know that it's all this criminal fucking operation that they got going. And so, of course, it's going to be driving the prices up right now. Of course, they're going to be employing everybody in other countries and not giving us jobs and charging us up the fucking ass for all this shit. And keep driving the prices up, making it impossible for you to even make changes on your account. To have to go through a fucking obstacle course to try and even get to a goddamn person. You know, the fucking how they've trapped us into this fucking AI fucking conversations that go on and on and on. And no matter how many times you tell them, get an agent, get an agent. I don't understand what you are asking. It's like, bitch, you fucking don't understand. That's the fucking problem. And, but they would just, so I had a fucking big ordeal trying to just get to a person today to make changes on my account. And then when you make the changes, so I was like, I don't need this security system because it's not even a security system to begin with. All it does is something that makes a noise if a door opens, and it sends me a text if I have the alarm on. Big fucking deal. And then the Wi-Fi phone, because I wanted a house phone. And so what did I get? A Wi-Fi phone, because this house has never had a phone. So they don't know how to put those in, apparently, anymore. So if you don't have a house phone, no, you gotta have a phone that plugs into a fucking modem. And then as soon as the modem goes out, your phone goes down. So what the fuck good is that? It's like, I wanted a fucking house phone. And then and that's another trap. Like, we used to fucking have house phones. You still need a fucking internet to talk to people. It's ridiculous. So then, so I said I didn't want those things, you know, take them off my account. When I finally got to a person, I started questioning her. I was asking where she's in the Philippines in the call center. I even told her, like, oh, well, we can't get these jobs over here, so that's good for you guys. And then when she starts telling me, like, I'm getting a good deal because they're going to give me $100 for just plain ass internet. Just internet. That's it. $100 a month. And then wanted to charge me $15 because I had to have a new modem. Got to have a new modem. And then they have to send it to you. So you have to pay to have it sent to you. Or you have to drive the 30 miles to go pick one up. Which, who even knows? Like, it could be 100 miles away for all I fucking know. And then and then it was only going to reduce it by a little bit to take those things off of there. And I'm so irritated. Just the way, I mean, this is already going with my car insurance. And see, some of this stuff, I just kind of blew it off and blew it off and blew it off. But this month, this month though, this is my month where I don't have any fucking fat. Like, this is where everything is trimmed down. It's like we're bare to the bones. And so when they're coming at me with some of these bills, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is some bullshit. I'm gonna cancel this. Like, I'm not doing this. Like, it starts like meaning more, you know, when you start thinking, oh, I gotta save money this month. I gotta be really careful. And then they are all of a sudden your insurance is going up again, cable's going up again, and all that. It's like, fuck this shit. And she tries to tell me that that was a good deal and I needed to do a contract. In order to get the $100 a month, you got to do a year contract. Hell to the no. I'm not. I said no. I said I'll quit the whole service. I ended up hanging up on her. I was like, this is bullshit. And I asked her how much they're paying, and she tried to loop-de-loo all over the place. Like, oh well, we don't have this, we don't have that, but if we get this, then we have to get a prepaid card and blah 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 blah. All this stuff. It's like, so I don't fucking know. I mean, that's even more absurdity. You got people telling us about services that they don't even know anything about. Like, the whole thing is absurd where, you know, it used to be that we used to like call and you used to talk to people. It was like a lot of times it was your community, it was your neighbors who were working up at the places, and, you know, things would get handled. And then all of a sudden they decided to cut costs, you know, and go with these automatic phone conversation things and call centers. And then they outsourced all the call centers. And then with the, even with the community, the people, oh yeah, because it used to be, I remember back when cable was like $10 a month. It was so fucking cheap. It was like $10 a month, and then it started going up. And I remember it went to like $20 a month. It's the same thing that they're doing with all these movie, or all these what are these different things like Netflix, Hulu, how they started out, like Hulu started out like $3.99 a month. And I think it's like $40 now. So this is what they do. And then they just add on stuff, and then you got to pay not to have commercial, like all this bullshit. And so, but we just keep doing it, you know, just like I said, like I didn't pay that much attention until I started being like, oh, you know, I'm watching the money this month. And then it starts being like some bullshit. You start noticing. And that's what the whole thing is all about, is where we got to notice and stand up and say, this is bullshit. You just keep telling us to bend over, bend over, bend over. And we just keep doing it. We just keep doing it. Oh yeah, we want services. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do without services? Like, I don't know. I mean, it'd be a lonely world. It'd be the only one, you know. And it could come down to it. I don't know. I don't know where this is all headed. I don't know what the fuck. At this point, I don't fucking know any fuck. I don't think I know anything anymore. My mind is fried. I have been told over and over and over again, I am lost. You know, I need to find Jesus. I got so many people praying to Jesus, like trying to get him to, you know, give me mercy. And, you know, because I talk about one thing of trying to be healthy, but they don't understand. I'm trying to tell you to be healthy of the mind. Don't be dependent. Religion is fucking false. It's fucking bullshit. It's another way just to trap your soul, to trap your spirit, to keep people divided. I swear to God that I think religion creates more division than politics. And because of how the people react to me. Like it's so eye-opening. Some of the stuff that you go through, like, you know, starting a channel, and then the stuff, like, you would never learn some of this stuff just sitting in your house. You would never experience some of the stuff. Some of the things and the things that people say and the way it's crazy. And, like, people think like they have some kind of ownership over you or something. Like, you're not independent. in your thought. You've got to be under an umbrella that is acceptable to them. If anything that you agree, or if they agree with you, they can't just be like, oh, well, I agree with you about this. But, and if they do feel that way, they got to make sure to come tell you. Like, well, I don't agree with you about this. It's like, okay. I didn't say you had to. I'm just saying my opinion. I didn't say, well, you have to agree with everything I say or just go away. Don't listen to a word I say. No, that's up to you. You got to pick and choose. If I say things you don't agree with, then it's like, well, she's got some weird opinions there. But if I say things that you find valuable, then it's like, take the value. Like, I don't understand. It's like, you're all good or you're all bad. You're either a Christian or you're going to hell. It's like, Jesus Christ. I even had one lady, I mean, she felt really bad, she listens to me all the time, and she had no idea I was lost like this. But she wanted to let me know her story, about Jesus being there when she got in a car wreck and coming and saving her. And this is the thing, is like, people don't understand. Like, read NDEs and read about reincarnation. I just want to pull my hair out and scream, God, God, educate yourselves. Fuck, dude. But anybody can come fucking visit you. You could call anybody. Like, because Jesus came, you could call anybody. Like, is whatever you believe is going to come is going to come. It's just like crazy. So anyways, yeah, it's like, what you believe is, and people just don't realize that how they limit themselves by these beliefs, and how these beliefs were created for you to create limitation. And that you can't get them to listen, and just argue until they don't want to hear it. They don't want to. And there is a thing, like, I think that they all are so scared they're going to go to hell. Like, they've got that, like, oh, I don't want to go to hell. You want to go to hell? Go to hell. But I'm not going to hell. I'm just going to go, like they think this is the precursor to going to hell. Like, we must all done some pretty bad stuff. And we're just sitting here, being judged once again so that we can go to hell. It's like, this is the hell. This is what you're trying to escape. And you're trying to escape on their sled. You know what? Another thing, too, is, like, think about with aging, because it's fucking fake. I swear to God. And when I see, these people who just, like, push aging, push products, push procedures, and all that stuff, it's just like, oh my God, look at this. The money that is made off of aging, made off of your death, made off of your sickness, made off of all the whole motherfucking thing is all created. All their sickness, everything. And that is all about what we're being shown right now, And so I do think that, yeah, there's going to be some stuff that's going to come out of the eclipse spray down. Like, there was so much being sprayed. There was video after video after video of people talking about it. And so I just think, like, well, that's kind of an obvious one, that there's going to be sickness. I mean, there's been sickness after sickness, and then the people are like, well, I've just got the worst allergies. Yeah, they have this train derailment, all these poisons, but it just really gave me allergies. Okay. So, it takes a while to get people to, think and see things, and I don't know, there's like a lot of trusting people, but it's like they only trust who they're told to trust. Like, some people don't even trust their own fucking mom. They trust other, but whatever. That's, anyways, if you, I would say, this is all about learning how to think for yourself and being independent. I mean, religion is a crutch. Like, that's why it can be controlled. Aging, sickness, all of it is controlled. It's all created so that they can profit off of us while we're here, drain us of all our energy. They create a whole habitat, making us chase our tails where we think we're getting ahead because we're chasing somebody else's dream. And I think I already said the Kardashians are going down. I already heard that. Like, the Kardashians are crashing. But all that, all the fake stuff is going to crash. All the fake people, their fake lifestyles, because it won't even just be like celebrities or Hollywood or politicians or whatever. There's gonna be a lot of people like who people knew who thought that they had it all going on, and it's going to crash. It's going to be shown. Like there's so much fakeness and phoniness, and if there's people who were aligned with the fakeness and the phoniness, trying to present like this perfect image of how they're so great and stuff, it's going to shatter. It's like no more fakeness or phoniness. And the desperation that people have right now to hold on to it, like the amount of people on the fucking filters right now is so over the top. And it is so over the top how they just go into like looking at themselves like, oh my God, I'm so beautiful. Look at me. I'm so, and then all of a sudden they turn into this like, so I'm beautiful. And they turn into this whole personality and they start being this personality thing. It's like very strange. And how many of them all use the same fucking filters and they don't notice that everybody looks the same on the same fucking filter. It's like, you don't look different than the last girl who used it. I know you think you're looking really beautiful, but you look like the other girl who was using it. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like everybody is lost in some sort of weird world. Like they only really see what they want to see, or what they're it is like. You can only see what you can see. But I swear to God, part of the awakening is realizing that you only are seeing a little bit. You're not seeing the whole room. You're looking at one piece of furniture. And you got to step back and you got to see the room. After you see the room, you got to see the house. After you see the house, you got to see the yard. After you see the yard, you got to see the street. After you see the street, you got to see the community. After you see the community, you got to see the town. Like it's got to go bigger, 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 bigger. Like you got to keep stepping back and looking at it bigger. People are so narrow-minded, so closed, so little. And they got to go and go bigger. And people get so upset when you don't match what it is that they want you to be. And this is something that is triggering to me because it has been my whole life. Like people would get together with me because they thought, they liked how I looked. And so they wanted to be together with me. But then as soon as I open my mouth, well, that doesn't match. You need to go. You need to change you into being my ideal version of who you should be. Because my ideal version is the true version of you. You just don't know it. And you have to argue with people to try and be yourself. Because everybody wants to contain you and control you and make you into what they want you to be. And that is the same energy that keeps coming at me and coming at me. It's like, no. I am a lot more open and varied than you. I have been studying spirituality for most of my life. And this is one thing that really gets me too. It's like, I started out with this, like, I already had, my mom was already religious. I'm sure we were going to Sunday school and stuff when I was really little like that. I don't know. Maybe she started when we were 5. I have no idea. I know I was little. But, and I knew that when they were talking to me, that is where the only thing I knew of was like an angel and the devil. So I had to have that concept from somewhere. Because I thought there was an angel and a devil talking to me, trying to get me to, lean in which direction they wanted me to lean. And I didn't lean over. I leaned into what I wanted to do. And I really wanted to put soap in his water, so I did. But the light told me what I was going to get in trouble. They told me what was going to happen. And so I, did it and went and, got in trouble. And they talked to me and they've been talking to me ever since. And even through, religion with my mom, and the preacher would be saying something, they would tell me something different. And then I would try and tell people, but people just thought I was wacky all the time. You know, no, that's not true. No, that's not right. You know, just because, and I tried telling people that there was people telling me stuff. Nobody would listen. And so, you know, now where people try and argue with me, it's like, no, I'm sure. I'm sure about what I think about. I don't go to a book. I don't go read what verse is this? Oh, what verse? Oh, okay, is this covered? Oh God, what am I gonna do today? Go. No, that's not how I live. I have been living with guidance. I've been living, with, guidance. Someone talking me through life. Someone telling me things. Someone explaining things to me. And this isn't something that just happened like a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago or even a couple years ago. This has been my whole entire life. So, yeah, it drives me fucking crazy when people come in and try and fucking tell me. It's like, dude, you don't fucking know. Like, I already know my stuff. My stuff is, my stuff. I'm not saying anybody has to believe me or just go by what my guides say. I try and tell people you got to listen to your own guides. We're all on different flight plans. I can't tell you how to live your life. I can just tell you how I live my life. I can tell you what I find important and what I think is going on the planet. But it's, my opinion. And there's a lot of people out there who think that they've got the fucking answers. They think that the book told them all different stuff. And, one thing is too, is some of these people, like their guide, they just made contact with them, which to me is like, you've been talking to the other side for any period of time, you know that it's not just like, it's like an open fucking communication. Like there's a lot of fucking talking out there. You have to tune in. And to me, it is like, luckily there's an energy that I can recognize. So I can recognize that energy and, listen to it. It's been like, to me, it's like, it feels like it's just a part of you. Like it's like a part of you. It's like I don't know. I think about like if you, like on the motherboard, your fucking whole mothership in here, and your radio, like Siri. That's what it feels like. It's like you're Siri to yourself, your Alexis to yourself, or Alexa, or whatever her name is. So it's you. It's your direct communication to yourself. So in there is because there's I don't know how, because there's like that, you have your higher self, you have your higher mind, but there is other beings that talk. Like I can't say for sure, seriously. I can't say for sure that it's not some other aspect of myself that has been talking to me throughout this whole life and trying to explain things to me or trying to remind me of things I already know or whatever it is. I just know that since I was a little kid, that I was aware of the dark talking in our heads and I was aware of the light talking in our heads. And I have talked to the light and I have focused on the light, and it isn't like the dark hasn't always been there. I've gone and done stupid stuff, and that's how I've found and learned is that they don't judge you. You're not going to hell because you do stupid shit. You're not looked down upon. There's not a God up there who's going to, humiliate you and burn you in hell forever. None of that is real. And, there's, like all the things I say are things that I know of to be true. Like, we're all billions of years old. Nobody just was born into this life for the first life and you just came in and now all of a sudden you are here in hell trying to ascend out of it. Like, no. Like this is more of a, advanced souls, warriors, you know, souls that are uh, creators. And it could be, you know, this game went south and some souls got trapped in it, you know, that could be. And then a bunch of souls came to try and change the energy to release the trapped souls. It could be, you know, but it is nevertheless is some sort of fucking game. This is something that you come into. It's a game area. It's like to me, it's like a holographic, it's like a stage, and there's like this light that goes through, and it is at a certain vibration, and because of the vibration, that it can create all of this beauty, and beings have figured out how to move through these different, you know, realities, and some of these beings can come down in, and we're in the game. Like, this isn't our higher self. Our higher self is like in it, but our higher self is still outside of here guiding us. And so then you have other beings that come, and they're their higher self. They're coming as their higher self. So we are our higher selves out here, and then we're playing a game in a year. And so we're in this game, and it seems to be a mastery to the game, to the ability to me, about, it's like pulling off all of this attachment energy and all the attachment energy is created by a dependency, by you trying to get something from somebody else. It's like not an independent sovereign soul. And so this stuff can occur in the game, but it's like you have to release it in the game. It's like you can't take it, you have to release it. And so I think not everybody comes in and plays these games, but there's a purpose to these games. There's a purpose to being able to go in and live these experiences and expand the universe. Like, it is a huge expansion that occurs. But this isn't our real life. This isn't how we live. We live very different, you know? And so we're conscious energy. So we're conscious of ourselves. We're thinking independent. And that's what, you know, some of these people have forgotten, or they've just gotten so brain trapped and mind washed and stuff. Like, you know, I don't know. There's parts of this, I'm sure, that as the awakening keeps going and the truth comes out, that we're going to see and understand a lot more of, like, what's going on. Is it all just, you know, you have to be like a veil, like, so that you can play the game, like I said, so that you don't just stay focused on all your other lives and what you got going on in other places. You do that more like when you're dreaming, like when when you're asleep in the game, then you can go and deal with your real life. But but in the game thing, that what was I gonna say? Just slipped right on out of there. But anyways, I've talked about this stuff before. I think you get what I'm saying. But, you know, it is like this, an elevation, you learning, becoming conscious in the game and making decisions as you, not just like by the parameters of the game, to think outside of the box, not just in the containment. As soon as you start feeling like you're contained, like, I think everybody should be questioning everything. And especially like if you are just following religion and you've never studied any other religions, you've never looked into reincarnation, you've never looked into Buddhism or Hinduism, or I mean, there's a lot of other things you can study about religion or spirituality. It seems that you should, you know, do some kind of counter, you know, some kind of added in study. You know, don't just go with, that is total cult behavior. You're only allowed this one book. You got to read this book. You got to come in each week for meetings. Probably you need to come in a couple times a week for meetings. Only talk to people in the group. You know, there's parameters in how you behave, how you dress. There's parameters in the language. There's parameter, like, there's way too much control. And so many people, see, they get all up in their ego. And they feel like they're a part of the crowd. They're a part of the good crowd. They're a part of Jesus' crowd. They're on Jesus' team. So they got, they got the big guy. They got the real big guy. So, you know, and they always are on the Almighty, you know, the Almighty. It's the one and only big Almighty God. And it's the Father to Jesus Christ himself. It's like, I fucking think Jesus is probably, every time somebody is fucking calling down here 200,000 billion times a day, he's probably like, fuck, man, I'd like some peace. People down here all day long. He's like, fuck, that's some karmic debt, man. But all down here all day long. Jesus, 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 Jesus. Oh, forgive them. I'm pretty good, but you need to forgive them. And it's like, oh my God. They're just like, they're so good. They don't, all they gotta do is try and save everybody else. It's like, I think that there is gonna be a lot of mind expansion where people are not gonna see it. They're not gonna see it coming. Like, these religious people are not going, I've said for a long time that I think the religious people are going to have the hardest time waking up. But they're not going to see it coming about, you know, let go of the trap. Let your mind open. Where's it going? Like, it's like, no, wait, I like the trap. Hold me in. It's like, you gotta be comfortable. You gotta be comfortable with just, and there's always things to go out and study. Like, there's so many more things to try and learn and understand about this world. And you know, when they're selling you this goddamn book and they want everybody to be reading it, and they'll sell it to you for $10.95, give it to you for free in the hotel, like it's crazy how how people can react. Like, they can like you so much, but as soon as they think that you are against Jesus, it's like there's no hope. There's no hope for you. There's like, you know, I'm sorry, you're going to hell. It was nice knowing you. Could you tell me more about the copper? It's like, that's another thing. Go out and just do some research. You start doing the work on yourself, then you'll see. I don't have to convince you aging is not real. You'll see it for yourself. Go start taking care of yourself. Stop putting on a filter and hiding from yourself. If there's something you don't like about yourself, go work on it. Like, all these people, I just, you know, fucking slap on a filter and feel bad about themselves. Like, it is 100% creating more and more insecurity. Like, I mean, there's fucking adult women who can't go without them. And it is so weird is that, you know, that they think, oh, that's just adding on makeup. Okay, well, if you got a facelift and everything else, is it smooths out every line. It tweaks everything on your face to turn it. It is not just adding makeup on. And so, anyways, but that is the whole, it's like the direction that a certain group is going to go with their insecurities rather than face them. The best thing to do is face them. Face them. It doesn't, you don't have to be perfect. It's like a saw sawing across my throat. Hold on. Oh, that was hurting. I kept trying to go past it. Oh, Lord. Hold on. But you don't have to be perfect. All you have to do is learn to accept yourself. And I know, you know, I know it's hard. And it's, especially when all you do is look at your face and all you do is look for what's wrong. But then when you start realizing, well, how is it wrong unless you're comparing it to someone else? So where is it you're coming up with the right face? Where's the right face you're comparing your face to? Because, you know, there's no reason. And I'll tell you another thing, and I've said this before, and I swear by it, is that The more I have healed and the more that I have come into balance, the more my face has. I swear to God, you know how they always say, like, your face is two different sides. Like, you can split it and it would be this side would have its own, and then you could split it and be this side. And the more that I have healed and come into balance, I swear to God, the more that my face has started matching on both sides. I think it is, but I don't know. I mean, I can't see good. That could be part of the problem. Earlier, I was doing a bunch of videos, and I didn't realize I had food or something. I had something on my face. I don't know what the fuck it was. I can't see. I see that stuff where I just gotta let it go. Like, no, somebody wants to come in and say, "Oh my God, what an idiot! She's got food on her face." It's like, okay, well, then you missed the point. Because what I said could have been smart. Just because I have food on my face, like, don't be judgmental. Maybe I've got a drippy lip. I do have a drippy lip. Maybe I have, maybe I'm going blind. Well, I am going blind. No, my eyes are getting better. My eyes really are getting better, even though you shouldn't tell yourself the negative part. Like, if you feel like there's something that you're getting, you know, that's going one direction, keep telling yourself it's going the other direction. Don't let it go. Don't let it pull you in that direction. You keep pulling it in the direction you want it to go. So, you know, my eyes are getting better every day, all day long. And Stella's getting better all day. It's rough, man. That thing just filled back right up. I have soaked it and soaked it. It won't open back up. I'm just like, and I keep smelling this smell. It smells like minerals, and I don't know if it's coming out of her. I don't know. Maybe it's our house. Maybe I have smell like minerals. I don't even know. I mean, I've just lost track of everything. Like, I don't even know if I'm here. Maybe I'm here. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. I guess there'll be evidence. Like, we do leave an imprint, but who knows? Like, I'm only here for the people who know I'm here. I'm only here for the people who watch. Like, seriously. And it's so weird too, is like seriously, like, people don't get the idea, like, that you existed before. Like, that you are, like, just because you just found me and I was talking about one thing, why do you think that that's the only thing I've ever talked about? Like, you think that's all I've ever talked about is this copper. No, even when I started talking about it, I said it happened totally by accident, totally organically. I was not expecting it. I even joked about it on here because I thought that when they said, like, your hair will turn if you drink from a copper cup, that your gray hair will turn, then I even thought, like, oh, okay, well, that would take a long time, which, you know, it still is taking some time for this part, but it's changing all the time. Like, it's always saturating more and more with color. So, you know, it is turning in a few months isn't really that long, but I was thinking it would take years or something. I didn't think it was going to be like within a first couple of weeks. I was going to start being like, oh my gosh, what's going on with my hair? Because it was all up in here is where I really started noticing it at first. Was like, oh my God, my hair is changing colors. It's like getting darker and more red. Stella's coat is getting a lot more red too, but definitely like a lot more red in my hair that I think was drained out over the time, which I'm sure that we all must probably have a lot more red in our tones than we realize because it's been being drained from us. So I think everybody would find that they have more red tones in their skin and their hair and stuff. But the copper, oh yeah, because then when I started drinking it, you know, I felt like I had to share that, you know, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, especially the way it started happening, where it was like the color started resaturating, because, you know, I don't know what I thought before. I guess I thought the same thing. The hair just grows in gray. It just changes inside of our heads as we get older, and then it starts growing in gray. Like, I don't know. Like, those are one of those things you just don't think about it. You don't question it. You just like, but, you know, all these hairdressers come in and give you the answers like, oh, it's dead. All your hair's dead. it just grows, but it's all dead and all this weird shit. But anyways, but as soon as you start seeing what happens and that this the actual hair fills back in with color, that is when you're like, okay, hold on a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something's not right here. And then, I don't know, I can't help it. My brain starts thinking. Like, I swear to God, I was like, my brain hadn't shut off from the fucking eclipse since I went on there and seen all those videos and stuff. Like, when I see something that doesn't make sense, my brain starts trying to figure it out. So, like, let's go through every bit of information that we've ever come into access. We're going to figure this shit out. And, you know, there's like, I think that the whole thing with the sky, the eclipse, everything was just like about the awakening. And then there's going to be some kind of sickness. And I don't know which place, because they were spraying a whole lot of places, and I'm sure they're spraying a lot of them different with stuff. But then also some of the people were having dizziness and stuff like that. I would say there's definitely some weird shit with the atmosphere. And there's a lot more people now who are saying, like, not just the airplanes are super loud, but they're saying they're real low, like flying over their neighborhoods and stuff, super low. And then they sound so low, like, fuck, it sounds like I'm living at an airport. And right now there hasn't even been, like, that's weird. Like, there's no pattern to it, I swear to God. It isn't like, oh, well, you know, every day at noon that United Airlines flies by. No, it's not like that at all. It's very, you know, and then all of a sudden, like, 3 planes will go by and it'll be so loud, it'll sound like thunder. And I swear to God, it makes things rattle in the house. And the guy, I think his name is called, it's not Weather Daddy, it's the guy who I was just talking about, who's on YouTube, who does the earthquakes. So he's back, and he said that it's going to be between the 7th and the 12th, I think. He said there's going to be something down by like North Carolina and South Carolina, like at the border kind of. He said hopefully it's going to stay out in the water. He said it's going to probably be around a 4. He said it's going to be something where everybody's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? We never had one here, and it's going to be like a 4. It's going to cause all this talking. And then he said over on the West Coast, it's going to be a 6. There's going to be a 6. But he said as soon as that 6 happens, it's going to lead into a whole bunch. It's going to be like, it's going to just pick up the pace. He said hopefully they'll stay out in the water. So a lot of these are like out in the water, and I don't know, and they're shallow too. So then it's like, okay, so are they shooting something and creating this? And you know, and then we think it's an earthquake. Like, some of this stuff that the people think are earthquakes, I don't think are earthquakes. There was a lot where they were saying were earthquakes, where that guy, it's like you're not even supposed to say his name. I swear to God, you get taken down for saying that guy's name. I just heard him talking the other day too, on somebody's video. I don't know whose it was. It was on a TikTok or something. It seems like his name is like Gene or something like that. I keep thinking Decode. I don't know if that is his name. But anyways, he was talking, like in 2020, he was talking about like all of the DUMBs that were getting cleaned out. And he was given all this intel on that. And that is when he started, like, I swear to God, they recognize his voice. If his voice is on your video, like, they really do not like this guy. And he was given all sorts of information. It seemed like he was like a military person or something. Like he had some kind of access to information. But he said that all of these earthquakes that they kept saying, he said they all go down only to 10 miles. He said that's not a real earthquake. That it's got to go below 10 miles. The 10 miles down is the explosions underground for those things in the battle. And he always says they're battling like the reptilians and Dracos and stuff like that. Like there's full-on battles. It's not just mad scientists. Like the whole tunnels are not just full of crazy Yahtzees and mutants that they've created. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. I mean, some of the people who have been down there have said, like, there's whole cities and stuff down there. Like, there's a whole world underneath this one. And it's corrupt and creepy. Just like this one is becoming corrupt and creepy. Or we're seeing it. It always was. It always was these things. We just hadn't seen it. So, but that's the thing, is like when you start to see it, is that then you start being like, well, you question yourself about a lot of different stuff. And that is what is going to be all about this awakening, all about these people when they start realizing and questioning themselves. That's the part where they're going to feel like they're going to realize how artificial they are, how judgmental they are, how their biases held them back, how because they thought this certain group of people was inferior, so they couldn't even listen to this group of people. It's like, if you would just shut the fuck up and go listen to these other people, it would probably open your mind a lot and give you more to think about. Probably give you a lot more insight, especially on the government people. Just go back and forth. It's ridiculous. Like, you guys haven't seen. You're just sitting there wearing yourselves out playing their fucking badminton or tennis tournament. You're just bashing the ball back and forth that they fucking gave you. It's not going anywhere. Nobody's gonna win this game, and it's senseless, and it's there just to drain you of your energy and to keep you divided. To keep it where you don't listen to other people, you don't get the full story. There's the people over there with the blue hair and the people over there with the red shirt. They only have part of the story. They gotta get the other part of the story from each other. Whoever you're divided from is holding something. Whoever you feel biased towards, whoever you feel like, oh, those stupid, like, for me, I'll get like a lot of people like, oh, those old fucking tattooed people. You can't listen to those skeezy people. Or some people are like, oh, you got to go with the tattoos. But it depends on your bias. There's plenty of people who think you have no value. You're probably a prostitute. You're probably a drug addict. That is your biases. You don't know anybody unless you know them. And most of the people that you don't even know. There's a trust that has to be built to even know somebody. Most people don't even let their guards down to let you get to know them. We got a fucked up society. And it's time, this is why we've got to go through this shit. If we want to fix it. If we want to make it better. We want to make it like more enjoyable, to where we can it is like where we can start to enjoy being alive again, where we can find fun, spend time with people. Like, that is one thing, is like to learn how to build communities and spend time. And when you sit there and think about, like, they turn off the internet, like, think about how isolating that is at this point. Like, how many people, like, even if you live in a house that's full of people, how many people are still on the internet for, their friendships, their relationships in some manner? It is like we have all built so much on this, and it's all under their control. And they keep waving their dicks, and everybody's following, but they're taking down TikTok. Oh, they're going to do that. And when they start saying they're going to take down TikTok, Jesus Christ, people on TikTok lose their damn minds. They go crazy. It's like, if you take that from them, we will have it will be, what was that? There will be a lot of postal people. There will be people like, no, you need to give them something to pacify them. You can't just take away everything from people. You've got to give people some kind of outlet. But I don't know, just because I say that doesn't mean that they're going to listen. This is the collapsing of this whole system. I don't know where it's all going to go. I don't know. I mean, there's all this talk of turning all this stuff off. But I know once we get to the new one, the quantum one, then it's going to be like fucking cool. But this, this lifestyle that we've all built, this world that we have all this world that we're all a part of, that we have, allowed our relationships to become like on social media. We've stopped being in communities. And I was thinking about this today, is even being out here, because I moved out to a rural community. And I thought, it was going to be a lot more open and fun. And, I thought, dogs would be more welcomed and people would be friendly and the streets would be like, people would be out talking in the streets and dogs running like, like fucking Mayberry RFD or something. No, it's like fucking just as crazy. And people fucking pull out their stuff and you can get it near them and everybody's, it's very divided. There's a lot of hatefulness. There's been lots of drug problems. There's lots of problems with squatters. There's all sorts of things. So the problems are everywhere. And then it gets people so frustrated they just want to go out further and just live by themselves out in the woods, out in the mountains with just some animals. It's like, yeah, but that's not how we're meant to live either. That's how you go to, like, what I'm doing. This this self evolvement or something where it's just you. Well, I've got hurt, but I don't have other people's opinions coming in. It's very different when you are going through your healing and you're all by yourself in isolation. So yeah, and they've used that before, like in tribes and stuff. Like when when a boy wanted to become a man, go out in the woods and live by yourself for a year. Let's see how you do. It's like there is a part of you that grows when you have yourself to rely on. And so, so it's good, and if somebody is led to do that, then they should follow it. But it is also, I don't think it's our goals as a group, as mankind. Our goals are to figure out how to live in separation and all be away from each other. We want to live in communities, and it's like where we all play parts. We all become one big unit with many moving parts, and we all take our part that we move is being valuable to the community. So that is when I think that we become more functioning. And I think that when we can start really tapping into our creativity and really building up communities, from our heart and from a creative space where it's like, something that seems fun and exciting. And so anyways, I know that's where we're headed. I know that's where we're going to go. But, you keep seeing people that just want to just get further and further away, and there's so much more control. But then you can see, especially like if you are not healed and you don't have boundaries, like it used to be overwhelming. Like my boundaries, like I'm fucking boundaries all day long. Boundaries. I'm like, hell no. I was like, no, you are not going to control my fucking mind. I am not going to say what you want me to say to please you. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to just say whatever to get likes. I'm not going to just say whatever to be followed. I'm going to say who I am. I'm going to be who I am, and I'm going to talk about what I talk about. And my opinions may be way off. They've always been way off. They've always been out there. But that doesn't mean they don't have value. I see it as like that there's a lot of opinions that are accepted, that we need to have some weird opinions come in and break this shit up. Like it's time for change. It's time for us to start listening to some weirdos and thinking like, hey, maybe they got a good idea over there. Like maybe it's something to think about. Just maybe, possibly. Like that's all we got to do. Possibly. Question. Just think. Nobody's saying you have to go sign it in blood. Nobody's saying you have to go out and fucking teach it or preach it or anything. All you have to do is open your mind to possibilities. Think outside of the box. Think just like, well, just maybe. Just maybe. What if religion was made up? Just maybe. What if? That's... I don't know. They get convinced over, I think it's calling them into the chapel and telling them every few hours, what Jesus is thinking and what Jesus wants. And, I think it's, you got to turn that off and go sit in silence. Talk to the guy yourself. Go see, go go spend time in reflection and try and figure out, like, a book should, like, how does anybody think there's a one size fits all book? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So, but, you know, as we're going through this, you got to remember to love yourself, to love everyone, and have a loving day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.